Thursday Night Football predictions! Yeah! Wow, my first ever real YouTube video, and I'm already getting controversial. Hope Twitter doesn't cancel me for this. Greetings, my exterminators. It's your homie BigX. The NFL draft is filled with a bunch of potential. Some of them reach it, some of them don't, and some of them get picked up in the 7th round, going to win 7 Super Bowls, break every single passing record imaginable, and play until he's 45? But anyways, the position with possibly the most potential is the quarterback situation. And note that it's not a terrible ripoff of Nickelback. These are the guys who will lead your team and the guys that you need the most. So selecting one of them from the NFL draft can either be a blessing or curse. And these guys were selected first out of the respective drafts. So today, we're going to be giving these first selected QBs a rank. And I say we because I'm not doing this alone. Joining me for this video is a good friend of mine and also the editor of this video, this guy, 4Blocks56.
Oh hey there. A little bit awkward, but anyways, y'all are probably wondering who I am, and frankly, I was questioning the same thing myself. No, but in all seriousness, I am 4Blocks56. The person who's going to be also on this video, and the editor of this video. My YouTube channel is right here. You can go subscribe to it if you want, and if you don't, that's fine, and, yeah. And if you couldn't tell by the jersey, I am a Jets fan, and I would say I'm living in misery, but we're not doing that bad this year, so, yeah, I can't say I'm all that miserable now. Anyways, sit back, relax, and I'll hand it over to Xavier for the rest of this video until I come back. And enjoy the show.
Okay. With that being said, this is the first quarterback selected in the NFL draft tier list. Well, since 2000, because doing every single one of them will take way too much time. And honestly, we do not have the time for that.
With the 18th pick in the first round, the Jets select quarterback Chad Pennington from Marshall University.
The first quarterback we are going to be talking about in this video is Chad Pennington, who was drafted in 2000 and was the 18th overall pick in that draft, selected by the New York Jets. He played his entire 11-year career with the New York Jets, obviously, and the Miami Dolphins. And while he was playing with those teams, he had a pretty good career. He had over 17,000 passing yards, over 1,000 passing touchdowns, was comeback player of the year twice. He is the only player ever in NFL history to ever do that. Made the playoffs a total of 4 times in his career, and was second in MVP voting behind Peyton Manning in 2008. Now, he would probably be the most known quarterback in this entire draft class because the rest of them, yeah, they're all randoms. Besides, it's like one guy played for the Patriots, won a couple Super Bowls, and whatever. The name is escaping me, but I'll come back to it later. Anyways, he had a great career, played a long time for someone in the NFL, and had a successful career while doing it. So that is why I am going to put him in the great tier.
With the first selection in the 2001 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Vick, quarterback, Virginia Tech.
After being a dominant force over at Virginia Tech, Michael Vick was drafted #1 overall to the Atlanta Falcons in the 2001 NFL Draft, making him the first black quarterback to ever be drafted #1 overall, a feat that will not be repeated for a whole nother decade. #foreshadowing. In his first season, he signed a 6-year, $62 million contract, and by 2004, not only had he led the Falcons to multiple playoff appearances, including making it all the way to the NFC Championship game, being selected to be on the Madden cover of that year, but also signing a 9-year, $130 million contract extension, making him the highest paid player in the NFL at the time. Things were looking up for Michael Vick until he was found guilty of multiple reports of illegal dogfighting in 2007, which had him thrown in jail for 23 months. When he was released from jail in 2009, head coach Andy Reid decided to take a chance on him and signed him to the Philadelphia Eagles, where he will continue to play for another 4 years. After that, he was part of the New York Jets in 2014, then was with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2015. Then he finally decided to retire in 2017 after spending all of 2016 in free agency. In his 16-year-long career, he has done some amazing things, such as revolutionizing the rushing quarterback game, won NFL Comeback of the Year in 2010, made it to 4 Pro Bowls, was the first quarterback in NFL history to rush for over 1,000 yards in a single season, and to this day still holds 2 NFL records: most career rushing yards per carry and most career rushing yards by a quarterback. And that's why I am honored to put Michael Vick in the elite tier. And no, I am definitely not biased. These are simply 100% straight facts.
Boy, if you don't get...
With the first choice in the 2002 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select David Carr, quarterback from Fresno State.
For the second year in a row, the first player selected was a quarterback, and this time it's David Carr, who, fun fact, is the brother of Derek Carr. He played 10 years in the NFL with the Houston Texans, Carolina Panthers, New York Giants, and San Francisco 49ers. That may or may not be in chronological order, I have no idea. That's a lot of teams though. For most of his career, aka pretty much every year that he was not with the Texans, he was a backup. When he was with the Texans, he was pretty good. He had 13,000 passing yards, 59 touchdowns, and a completion percentage of around 60%. Only problem is, he has 65 interceptions with the Texans, and oh my god, did he get sacked a lot. In 2002, 2004, and 2005, he was the most sacked quarterback in the entire NFL, bar none, probably not even close. Seriously, his offensive line may have been the worst offensive line ever in the history of the NFL. And I guess I can excuse that because they were an expansion team. But when you have the number 1 overall pick in the entire draft, you should probably get some offensive line. And if he had at least a better offensive line, he would probably not have gotten sacked that much, definitely, and he wouldn't have thrown that many interceptions. But because he did, and because he was a backup for most of his career, we are going to put David Carr in the meh tier.
First pick overall, the Cincinnati Bengals, who have been bangling and bungling picks for years, finally got their quarterback of the future, Carson Palmer.
The 2003 NFL Draft gave us the introduction to the Heisman Trophy winner out of UFC, Carson Palmer, who was drafted number 1 overall to the Cincinnati Bengals. However, despite being drafted first and claimed to be the future of the franchise, he actually didn't play at all until his second year. During his 8-season involvement with the Bengals, he was able to lead them to the first ever winning record and playoff appearance in 15 years. Carson would play for the Raiders for a whole 2 seasons before being traded to the Arizona Cardinals in 2013. As it turns out, being traded to the Arizona Cardinals actually worked out for Carson Palmer because in 2015, he had his best season ever by taking the Cardinals all the way to the NFC Championship game where they were demolished by hotshot Cam Newton. #even more foreshadowing. After the 2017 season, Carson Palmer announces his retirement, and thanks to his efforts in the Arizona Cardinals franchise, they decided to induct him with the Ring of Honor. Carson Palmer spent 15 years in the NFL, and during his career, he has made 3 Pro Bowl appearances, was the NFL passing touchdown leader and completion percentage leader in 2005, and has multiple records that he still holds within the Bengals and Cardinals franchise. Nobody really cared about his time in Oakland. Despite not technically living up to his high expectations of being drafted number 1 overall and winning the Heisman Trophy, he still made big impacts within the franchises that he played for. And that's why Carson Palmer rightfully deserves his spot in the great tier.
With the first choice in the 2004 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers select Eli Manning, quarterback, Mississippi.
Now I know what you're thinking. Eli Manning was drafted by the Chargers? How did he get on the Giants? Well, let me just play the clip.
San Diego Chargers and the New York Giants have exchanged their draft picks.
Yo, why does the guy on the right look like he's so disgusted? What are you offended about, you old wrinkle Sorry, that was a bit mean. Back to the video.
Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers.
Sticking with the trends of quarterback selected first overall, we have Eli Manning, the brother of Peyton Manning and the first overall pick in the 2004 NFL Draft, who was selected by the San Diego Chargers, but hated it so much that he was forced to be traded to the New York Giants for Phillip Rivers. He played with the Giants for a total of 16 seasons, and he retired just a couple years ago. Now, do you guys really want to hear me talk about all of Eli Manning's accomplishments? No? You don't? Well, too bad, I'm doing it anyways. He had over 57,000 passing yards, over 350 touchdowns, made the playoffs 6 times, and, what was his last accomplishment? Oh yeah, he beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. The only real negatives on his career are the fact that he has over 240 interceptions, and the other playoff appearances, he didn't really go that far. But, with those positives, I think that he goes in the Hall of Fame tier. Yes, Eli Manning and Peyton Manning are both going to make the Hall of Fame. Peyton already did. Now it's just Eli's waiting turn.
With the first selection in the 2005 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Alex Smith, quarterback, Utah.
The NFL is filled with lots of comebacks and underdog stories, but one player symbolizes both of them, and that man is Alex Smith. He was drafted number 1 overall by the San Francisco 49ers in the 2005 NFL Draft after having a pretty good college career in Utah. However, since his rookie year, he has struggled with consistency and injury throughout his NFL career. For the 7 years he has spent with the 49ers, his best year with the team was in 2011, where he led his team to a divisional title and their first playoff win since 2002, along with making it all the way to the NFC Championship game. But after the 2012 season, he was sidelined for Colin Kaepernick and then was traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. In 2018, he was traded to the Washington to make way for current Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Unfortunately, on November 18, 2018, during a home game against the Houston Texans, Alex Smith suffered what many claim to be the worst injury in football history. An injury so bad that it not only took him out for the remainder of that year, but that leg injury almost cost Alex Smith his life. But then, the unbelievable happened. During the 2020 season, Alex Smith made a surprise return to the NFL, which was met with lots of cheers and praise, eventually winning back the starting position and helping Washington win the NFC East and making a playoff appearance. After the season, Alex Smith announces his retirement as he pursues a brand new career in broadcasting. He might not have the most impressive stats throughout his NFL career, but he was able to make it to the Pro Bowl 3 times, was the NFL passer rating leader in 2017, and of course, winning Comeback Player of the Year in 2020. He may not have been the elite quarterback that was drafted number 1 overall, but his determination, unstoppable willpower, and his incredible comeback and underdog story remains one of the best in the NFL, which is why it is an honor to put Alex Smith in the great tier.
Thank you for watching part 1 of this 4-part series. Part 2 will be up pretty soon. And yeah, that's it. Goodbye.